Lean supply chains, the ultimate feast you have for supply chain management. It's the best way to go. But you have to pay attention to all the micro details to make it really efficient. There's a couple things you want to really focus in on some of the basic mechanics of actually setting up your supply chain. One time I had the summer off when I was a principal of a K-12 district, and I worked in the manufacturing plant, and we sat down and we actually reconfigured our actual workspace when the supervisor's back was turned, and we made it more efficient, and we enjoyed work rather than the miserable aspect of cranking through polyurethane, different parts coming through a system. By the time we were all done here, you want to reduce or eliminate setup times. You want to reduce those costs overall, and because setup time is the same thing as costs. You have your labor invested into it. A lot of times, your very best production lines are U-shaped with the workers in the middle. The workers can actually sit down there, they can pivot. It depends how many different stations you have on your actual manufacturing line. So your worker can sit down, they work over here, they can come over here as the part comes through. It could be the same part and it's coming through. Worker one does this, worker two does this, worker three does this, but you might have the ability to sit down and have worker one come across the line over here with just 2 steps and pick up another item because of the fact that their process is shorter than it takes worker number 3 to do. So you have to pay attention to how you do that. And you also have to invest in cross training. Smarter workers really enjoy the job a lot more if you look on the motivational side of it, but they also gives you more flexibility as to what you're doing. High setups, because you're talking about adding flexibility, there's a cost to that. But you could, if you have more, you have larger lot sizes, you can take advantage of economies of scale, which you always want to take advantage of whenever you can. At least the higher inventory levels, it reduces time available for other products on the same line. So the reduces setup costs and have a U-shaped situation on your assembly line that really helps because setups are high, dedicated to manufacturing facilities. You might already have a press over here set up to handle this operation. Then you have another press set up over here that's exactly the same press, just a different tooling head on the end of it. But maybe this is station 1 and this is station 3. And maybe at station 5, you have another one with a different head on it. And maybe this one took 3 minutes to do, this one takes 5. So it's a little bit slower. Maybe worker 1 can pivot over here and work 1 and 5 in the process and save time because he's cross-trained or she's cross-trained in the process. So pay attention to all the different parts of your supply chain, especially your production line. Identify different problems and bottlenecks out there. Get a stopwatch out and go click, 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 and watch the things as it go through, except it's going to use your phone probably and go and your phone rather than click. So that being said, distinguish between internal setups. They occur when the machines are down. External, okay, before the hand when machine is still running. So if you have an internal setup, stop the press, and also you got to stop, change the head or change whatever setting you have. Or external, maybe you can sit down, the machine is still running, and you push a button and the head changes automatically, and you have the whole aspect of it. Pay attention to the details because that complexity there, if you handle the complex part, okay, make certain that you're looking at the time savings. Can you do it faster this way? Get the stopwatch out and pay attention. Listen to the worker. You know what? We're talking about machining, but let me tell you, listening to the worker works in human resources, it works in accounting, it works on manufacturing, it works wherever you're at. The worker is doing the work, and if you listen to them, they may have some brilliant suggestions that'll save you time and money, and they invest in the process, and all of a sudden, they're part of the vision that is being implemented. It really is a big deal. Listen to the worker, doesn't matter education level. If they're the one doing the work and they have a brain functioning, saying, if I did this, I could probably save time and do this, and I might be safer in the process, not lose a finger. So pay attention to the aspect, eliminate adjustments that are part of setup, because a lot of times your setups can take an awful lot of times and sometimes modify the product design. Machines are processed arranged around a U-shaped line. Workers on the inside of the U, they should be cross-trained to handle multiple tasks and design the facility's information to make certain that workers have flexibility in the process. And don't let them get bored. A bored worker tends to be unproductive, and a bored worker tends to have more accidents than those that are fully engaged. U-shaped lines, they operate in a pull mode because of the fact that you can identify exactly what you have. You'll have more flexibility. And when the line stops, whenever there's a problem anywhere on the floor. So cross-training, the number of types of tasks the workers complete in the line. If you can cross-train them, it's going to help a lot of things. If you have somebody sick, you have a worker that's doing this all the time, and the worker that does the most complex job is sick, all of a sudden you can boom and put another employee over there because you cross-trained them. Really, cross-training is a big deal. In a perfect world, you have people with good seniority that have been on the line for a while. They can know all the different things on that line. And even then, sometimes it's good to pull them off that line and put them on a different line. Give them cross-training, not just on one line, multiple lines, if you can possibly do that. Machine variability, sometimes you have a machine that only does this one thing, one thing, one thing. Maybe if you had a machine that does the one thing, maybe you get a machine that does two things that could do this on the process, and all of a sudden now you have variability with the worker and the machine. And even though you paid more money for the second machine, that change, it might eliminate one setup, and you can eliminate one of the spots on the line and use that worker someplace else. Job variability, different jobs take different times on the same machine. It depends what it is. Assumed processing time, the first, third, and last station is 6 minutes each. This is an example in your book. And then it takes exactly 10 minutes to process unit on the second and fourth station. So what do you do on this example on the machine variability in case one in your book? Pay attention to it because of the fact if this is 666, that means if you have stations really 10 minutes on station 2 and 4, the person that's on number 1, they have 4 minutes of downtime. Over here, I'm not gonna wait. What can you do with those 4 minutes? Can worker 1 do station 3? Can the person 3 on 6 minutes do station 5? Pay attention to how you go about doing that, because if you're looking at stations 2 and 4 are bottlenecks, maybe the person on station 1 could begin processing stuff on station 2, save the time and the variability. Balance out the processing equally over the 5 machines, or about 7.6 minutes per station, if you can do that. Sometimes you can't, and you may have to cross-train. So it depends what you're doing. Pay attention to the aspects of how you can sit down and save money. Good examples in the book. I encourage you to go back, read it again. I enjoyed reading it myself, but setups and line designs are critical on efficiencies, especially in the world of just-in-time or lean manufacturing. Take care.